Welcome to Smokehead, which is our next episode. Interestingly enough, in May at Dublin Whisky Live, I had a chance to meet a brand rep from Ian Macleod Distilleries, the family company behind Glengoyne, Tamdu, and of course our Smokehead that we're going to cover in this episode. This was definitely a very unique experience to try 3 different Smokeheads expressions. So I think we tried the original one, the high voltage one, and then a version with that was infused with tequila. So that's always interesting, along with having a look at Glengoyne, which we can try maybe next episode or somewhere in the future. Tasting them together really showed how each builds on the core of Smokehead character in different ways. Obviously I'm talking about the Smokehead range. But today let's begin with the basic Smokehead that you can see here. An Islay whiskey, but one that refuses to play by the rules, let's say. Most Islay distilleries lean on history, heritage, and traditions. Whitewashed walls, pagoda roofs, centuries of stories, and so on. However, Smokehead takes slightly different path to that. Obviously, you can see that on the branding. You see that. So I've got the black tin for the bottle. You've got the skulls on the bottles and on the tins and on the cartons as well. Graffiti lettering and a promise of big smoke for those who like their whiskey loud. The whiskey itself is an Islay Single Malt, but the distillery behind it never revealed. Fans argue about whether it's Kaila or Ardbeg, but the truth has never been confirmed, so maybe one day we'll get it out of the distillery, who knows. That mystery is part of the brand's identity, which is amazing, but what matters is what's in the glass, and unmistakably Islay, full of peat, iodine, sea spray, citrus. If you like smoky whiskey, you can get that feel straight away. If you're not a fan of smoky whiskey, that one might be quite hard to adjust to your palate, but you know, everyone to themselves, right? Smokehead has launched in 2006 by Ian Macleod Distillers, the same company that carefully preserves heritage with Glengoyne and Tamdu. And I created the Smokehead to go in the slightly opposite direction from Glengoyne and Tamdu, of course. A whiskey that is rebellious, modern, and deliberately different, as you can see. Since then, the range has grown. Smokehead Original at 43%. Brings briny smoke and that citrus. Then they have the high voltage, 58%, so ABV, close to the cask strength. So you get that raw and powerful, almost cask strength taste and that smokiness to it. They have a sherry bomb at 48%. That layers that rich dark fruit over the peat. Rum Rebel was finished in Caribbean rum cask, adding that molasses and the tropical notes to it. Twisted Stout takes on chocolate and toffee from stout beer barrels. Then they have the tequila cask, which is actually very interesting. I recommend trying it. Terminado adds citrus and like agave spice. So if you're into tequila and whiskey, that it's a really nice marriage. And now the new 15-year-old softness and the edges while keeping the smoke. The new 15-year-old. High voltage is worth posing on. and I'll tell you why. Most whiskies are bottles at 40 to 46%. After some water is added, high voltage is at 58% straight from the cask. So it's definitely worth dipping your toes into that if you get the chance. Either get a bottle or go to the bar and try it there. And that's what people mean by cask strength. More flavor, more fire, and you can add water yourself to open it up a bit. You don't have to. Even a few drops will change the palate slightly. Also, because it's a first episode about Smokehead, I like to go into a bit of the marketing that they did. So marketing is a big part of Smokehead. Is aimed at like bikers, rock fans, and those who want to break away from traditional whiskey. Obviously, that smoke is the main key element to the whiskey. They have collaborated with Tyler Lansford, the Ducati Whisperer, to build a custom Smokehead Ducati called the Smoker, which is interesting, right? They have run events pairing whiskies with smoky dishes, and their rock edition bottles underline the connection to music and alternative culture, let's say. Unlike some whiskies that show up in like movies and films and so on, Smokehead can build its own culture. So the skulls on shelves, motorbikes, music, the metal tins. Of course, I think they're kind of moving away from the metal tins though. But you can see the graffiti and the design of the packaging is slightly unique. So it's always about the identity as much as it's about what's in the glass. Now let's talk about the tin itself. The bottle comes in a like a black metal tin with this cool graffiti design, as you can see here. It's bold, it's eye-catching. When you move your hand over it, you can see the embossments on it. And it kind of stands out straight away on the shelf. On the side, you'll see the tasting notes. So we've got peat, there's heavy intensity, a bit of spice, and medium sweet. So that's always good to see, and what you kind of expect. I admit I use the tin for, you'll find it funny, but for spare corks. It's not like it's been designed for it, but it does the job. Now let's taste Smokehead Original and see what we're gonna get. And you keep the corks in case those break, and they break every now and then. It doesn't happen very often, but if you have few spares, you can always replace them with the spare ones. Oh, on the nose, I get that peat smoke straight away. Iodine, always quite hard on it. A bit of tar. Lemon zest. I mean, you can sit on it and kind of try to get different feels. I mean, tell me what you feel and smoke it, and we can always compare the notes. That's always interesting. Okay, let's try it. It's always good to kind of calibrate your tongue on with the first sip, or maybe with similar whiskey first. I haven't done that, so I'm going to take another sip in a moment as well. But on the palate, you get that briny, salty, peppery taste straight away. The citrus, You get that sweetness of vanilla as well. The finish is probably going to be quite long. It's definitely smoky and very warming. Let me take a second sip. It's not as pale as Lafroig though. It's always interesting. It's very interesting. So you get that heavy smoke. You get that kind of like a plastic, no, acrylic and metallic hints, not because of the tin. You get that honey as well, and that bitterness, a bit of bitterness at the end. But it's a nice long finish. I mean, personally, I really like it. You get meats, earthy herbs, butter, cream, layered with spice and peat and more peat. Allow me a moment to take my notes, and then we'll talk about the next steps. Interesting. For me, Smokehead sits somewhere around 81 points. I mean, that's my personal view. You might find it slightly different. If someone doesn't like smoke, it's probably going to be lower. I mean, it's bold, powerful, and unapologetically peaty. And you're going to get a lot of peatiness with it. Smokehead is Islay with attitude. Not everyone's style, but that's the point, right? It's Whisky Clan. All drums are welcome. And I would love to hear from you guys how you kind of find Smokehead. I've got other Smokeheads as well that we could try out. I think this one's the travel version. Also, for the next episode, I've got two options to vote on. So we can stay with Islay, Lafroig 10, or we can start go a different direction. Highland Whiskey, Glenmorangie 12. I think I might have Glenmorangie 10 as well. We can compare them as they are both baseline malts for Glenmorangie. So that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you see you in the next episodes.